I'm a grown man. And so you would think that I could take care of myself for 1 month while my wife was out of town. You would think that, and you would be wrong, because I knew when I took my wife to the airport for her flight to Saudi Arabia, it's a long story, that I would miss her terribly. But as they say, absence makes the heart grow fonder. And absence also means that while she's gone, you get to do whatever you want to do. Now, there were no ice sculptures involved, but I did stop by the store on the way home, and I got all the things I'm not supposed to get, right? I got ice cream, got the expensive beer, got Captain Crunch, took it all home, watched every Schwarzenegger movie on Netflix, and had a great time. But after a few days of bachelor living, the food began to run out. Now, I knew this would happen. June had left me some food, and when I was growing up, my mama tried. She taught me to cook. But, it just seemed wrong at the end of a long day to have to think about, well, what food do we have, and, do we cook it, and do I go to the store, and then you gotta cook it, and eat it, and clean it, and then by the time you're done with all that, it's time for bed. That's no way to live. I know people do it, but that just wasn't for me. So I did what any grown man would do. I went to the college and got a meal plan. Yes, because I work at Kennesaw State, and so for a fee I could eat in the dining hall with the kids, which I'm sure did not creep any of them out. But I mixed it up a little bit with some frozen dinners. And just say, buddy, I got the cheaper kind. I don't know if you're familiar, but the cheaper kind is actually Healthy Choice, Weight Watchers, that kind of thing. And if you've ever had one of those, they're not made out of some kind of science food that fills you up and doesn't give you calories. They're just small. I mean, there's just not a lot of food in there. That's the entire racket of this billion-dollar business. But it kept me alive long enough for real trouble to start. And so I'm bringing some beer into the home, a theme in our hero story. And the handle breaks, and so then there's glass and beer all over the driveway. So I have to clean that up. So 30 minutes later, I'm finally going inside, and I reach for the door. And what I don't know is that in picking up all the little pieces of glass, I got a piece of glass on my finger, not in it, but on it. But when I open the door, of course, you squeeze and turn the doorknob, right? So when I squeezed and turned, I ground that piece of glass deep down into my finger. And so now I'm out the money for the beer, I don't have any beer, and now I'm bleeding everywhere. So I spend the next 30 minutes with the alcohol and the tweezers trying to get the piece of glass out, and it will not come out. So I do what any man who doesn't have his mother around to take care of him would do. I wrap it up in a Band-Aid and figure it'll all come out like a splinter or something. This was the actual plan. And spoiler alert, this was not a good plan. And as for the next week, try as I might to not use the finger, you just can't help but type the letter J sometimes, or change the car radio station, or zip or unzip your pants, depending on the occasion. And whenever you would do something like that, it would push the glass around inside, and then it would just start bleeding again. So there I am at work a week after the initial injury, and I'm watching the blood drip down my hand again, and I'm thinking to myself, I need a new plan. It is time to admit finally that I need a new plan. So I go to the doctor, and of course, when you go to the doctor with something like this, they say, oh, how did you get injured? So then I have to tell that story to the lady up front, but no, it doesn't stop there. You have to explain it to the nurse, and then you have to tell the x-ray tech, and then you have to tell the doctor who bills you for surgery to cut the thing out. But they finally fixed me up. And then, a few days later, I'm at Publix, just trying to buy some milk. What could go wrong? Well, I swiped my credit card, and it's denied. Yes, so then everybody else in line is judging me and giving me that look like, oh, you're that guy. You're the guy in the suit with the credit card that doesn't work, and you're why we can't get mortgages anymore. So I have to leave the grocery store, and then I call the credit card company, like, well, what's up? Well, they tell me that for my own protection, they had suspended my account due to suspicious activity. To wit, they found it alarming that someone had tried to use the credit card in Kennesaw, Georgia, when only 15 minutes before it had been used in a souk or market in Dhahran, Saudi Arabia. Yes, nothing suspicious about that happening for the first time ever in the life of the car. No, they found it unusual that I was trying to buy milk at Publix, which I do every week of my life. So at this point, I'm feeling kind of understandably pathetic, right? And I just really want my wife to come home. But I look around the house, and I realize that it is not ready to receive her. Right? It looks a little too much like a bachelor has been living there for the last month. So I came up with Andrew's 5 easy ways to make everything seem like it's okay. Okay? Right. Number 1, make the bed. It's the first time in a month. She doesn't need to know that. Okay. Number 2, you vacuum visible debris. You don't have to go under things. You just have to get stuff anybody can see. And then the last 3 are really distractions. You have champagne in the fridge, you got flowers on the table, and you have a big sign when she gets off the plane at the airport. So she comes home, she's happy, I'm happy, and I hear all about her adventures. And then, of course, she inevitably asks me, well, how have you been? But I just look her straight in the eyes and say, honey, I missed you. Thank you.